This is a second stimulus check update giving you the latest news on the $2,000 stimulus check. Today, there is a vote in the House for the $2,000 stimulus check. Kevin McCarthy, who is the House Minority Leader for the Republicans, gave a response to the $2,000 stimulus check in a letter late last night. I'll give you the details of that. From here on out, there are three scenarios of how we could get a $2,000 stimulus check, and I'll lay out all three of those scenarios in this video. First, I want to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas during these difficult times. I know times are hard right now, and hopefully things will get better for you in the future. Also, quick favor, if you get to give this video a like, this way YouTube could share this video with more people. Let's get into it. So, the House Democrats are going to try and pass a $2,000 stimulus check today. Today is that day. Before I give you the details of that, quick recap. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, President Trump made a video saying that the current stimulus bill is a disgrace with wasteful spending and that he didn't want to give $600 checks. He wanted to give $2,000 stimulus checks instead. So Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats hopped on board and said, yes, let's do it and let's have a vote. Today is the day for that vote. So Nancy Pelosi yesterday said in a letter, it's a pretty long letter. I'll just give you the gist of it. She said, if the president truly wants to join us in $2,000 payments, he should call upon Leader McCarthy to agree in a unanimous consent request. That is going on today, unanimous consent request, basically saying that President Trump, if you really want this $2,000 stimulus check, have your fellow Republicans be in support of it as well. So, speaking of Kevin McCarthy, he did respond, and basically in a private call, which some anonymous source said, that he doesn't think that it will pass. So Kevin McCarthy had a tweet last night as well as a letter saying that this was around 9:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night, saying that Democrats appear to be suffering from selective hearing. They've conveniently ignored President Trump's call to re-examine tax dollars wasted overseas while so many Americans are struggling at home. Republicans will act to put America first. Here's my letter to the GOP members. So here's the letter right here. Now, speaking of selective hearing, he did not respond to the $2,000 stimulus check request. He's basically calling the other half of the bluff. I'll give you the details right now. So he says, Dear Republican colleague, Americans have needed relief from the coronavirus and lockdowns for months. House Republicans have attempted to pass relief for over 40 times, but each time Speaker Pelosi has ignored our fellow citizens, saying nothing is better than something. Worse than that, by waiting days before Christmas, Speaker Pelosi tried to use the American people as leverage to make coronavirus relief contingent on government funding, which includes billions of foreign aid at a time when there are urgent needs at home. Our government's top priority must be our families, communities, and small businesses as we get through this pandemic and restore our country. House Democrats appear to be suffering from selective hearing. They have conveniently ignored the concerns expressed by the president and shared by our constituents that we ought to re-examine how our tax dollars are being spent overseas while so many of our neighbors at home are struggling to make ends meet. Thus, Republicans will offer a unanimous consent request to revisit the state and foreign operations title of the omnibus so that we can fully address concerns at hand. It will be up to Speaker Pelosi to decide if she wants to act on behalf of the American people. This is not good news. So Kevin McCarthy had an opportunity here to say, yes, let's go for the $2,000 stimulus checks. Instead, he focused on the other half of what President Trump said about the disgrace of a bill, saying that all these tax dollars are going to other countries. If you want to see that clip, I'll have a link to that video down in the description below. But basically, he completely ignored. So ironically, calling the Democrats out on selective hearing, his selective hearing is only on the money going overseas. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you are in favor of a $2,000 stimulus check. And if money went overseas, it is a problem, but your priority most likely is a $2,000 stimulus check, which Kevin McCarthy ignored. Lindsey Graham, who is a Senate Republican, said yesterday, I support President Trump's demand to increase direct payments for long-suffering Americans to $2,000 per person. And I also support his call to end Section 230 Big Tech legal liability protections. Let's vote. So that Section 230 Big Tech is basically kind of like how Twitter is censoring information regarding votes. He doesn't want any censorship at all. But the key part here is that he is in support of the $2,000 per person. So it is gaining support, but it all comes down to Kevin McCarthy today, if he will have consent or unanimous consent for that $2,000 stimulus check vote. Basically, what is happening now, to give a football analogy, Team Stimulus was at the 5-yard line, about to go into the end zone in a tied game, fourth quarter, 5 seconds left, and instead just stood there at the end zone and let the time run out. President Trump had the option to sign off on the $600 stimulus bill, but instead at the 5-yard line said, all right, you know what? I don't want to just win this game by 6 points. Let's win this game by 20 points. Let the clock run out. Therefore, we are going into overtime, which means we are not going to get any stimulus checks next week, probably not for 2 weeks, probably not for a few weeks, if not a month. But the good news here is that we may get a $2,000 stimulus check if we wait this process out. So we are now in overtime. Let me give you the 3 scenarios of what is going to happen. Now that this stimulus bill is on President Trump's desk, he threatened to veto the bill. He did not veto it. He has a few different options here. If he does veto the legislation, Congress may have enough support to override his action. However, depending on how quickly the 5,000-page bill gets to his desk after formal enrollment, he could potentially let it die by refusing to sign it before the new session of Congress starts on January 3rd at noon. Basically, what this is called is a pocket veto. According to the Constitution, when a bill is put on President Trump's desk, he has 10 days to act on it. He can sign it, he can veto it. If he does nothing on the 10th day, not including Sundays, the bill just completely dies and we have to start from scratch. Congress has to vote on it again. We don't know what is going to happen. So he could veto it, he could sign it, he could let it just die. We don't know what is going to happen at this point, but I will keep you updated. I got a few comments on yesterday's video talking about what happened with this $2,000 stimulus check. Surprisingly, out of over 1,000 comments, a lot of people who are not supporting Trump to begin with are actually supporting Trump's decision on this. For example, Crystal Rodriguez is saying, I'm not a huge Trump fan, but what he is saying is absolutely right. Go Trump. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. If you were not a Trump supporter at first, do you support what Trump is saying in regards to providing $2,000 stimulus checks and review the tax dollars that are going to overseas projects and countries? So at this point, we don't know what is going to happen with $2,000 stimulus check. It would be a Christmas miracle if we did get that $2,000 stimulus check voted on today, signed, and then in the works. I'll keep you updated. Moving on to COVID news. Yesterday, we had 227,000 cases, and there have been more than 1 million people vaccinated in the country so far. And that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To cheer up your mood a little bit, here is my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Can I tell you the thing that you should really actually do when someone's hurt or you're hurt? You should really do something really good and help them out, because that they're hurt. You can't let a person hurt. Stay there. I know you guys would do such a great thing, even better than that. Like help them up or something. And you can too. So that's all the advice that I wanted to give to you today. And also, this is my sister Kalaya. Hi. Bye.
And if you want to keep the positive vibes going and feel in a better mood and get away from this negative news, I recommend clicking this video over here. It's Joe Dispenza's 4 ways of how to predict your own future and create a better life for yourself. I highly recommend you click that video. It's on my Wise Vibes channel. So click that video right now and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.